We're back with more action from the Disklok Civic Cup, and after Brands Hatch, Lee Deegan, the championship leader, has a dominating lead. Anthony Hollings caught up with him earlier.
The track conditions are slightly different to qualifying. Is there going to make much difference going into this first race?
I think we'll all be consistently slower than we was this morning, just purely because of the air temperature and the track temperature. But everyone's in the same boat, so you just have to adapt your driving style a little bit to save your tyres, make sure they're fit for the end of the race, to pounce on anyone that might be close enough to pounce on. So yeah, just looking for a bit of consistency and just keep my head and not really look back.
I think you're going to have mirrors full of Civics. This track's a power track. The slipstream does make a hell of a difference. All the corners are fast as well, so a lot of people prefer not to be in the lead for the start of the race.
That's right, yeah. I've come from mini racing, so I know all about slipstream. These are not as bad, but to break the toe would really help. So I've got to try and break the toe early, and then when people are fighting behind, that's when you can start pulling away. So that's my aim, but obviously it's racing, anything can happen, so we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, good luck. Hopefully we'll see you on the podium.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
The sixth weekend of the season for the Disklok Civic Cup, and it's Lee Deegan and Dan Hobson in the front row of the grid for the first race. David Buki and Alistair Camp on the second from Bruce Winfield and Dan Reason. Ballantyne and Bailey, Lewis and Dalzell round out the top 10. And then it's Paul Taylor and Lewis Rose from Damien Harris and Mike Ballantyne, with newbies Rick Shortle and Sam Linsner on the 8th row of the starting grid. Here we go. Out to the first corner, they run up to Copse Corner, is going to be a big challenge. Can Hobson overhaul Lee Deegan into the first apex? He's trying to come up the inside, but Lee Deegan's going to sweep it right round the outside of Copse, and it's 3 wide further back. Winfield is going door to door there with Dan Reason, and they are nearly locking wheel arches. Goodness me, up towards Maggots for the first time, and they are rip-roaring already. Into the braking zone for Beckett's. Tight hairpin, keep it nice and clean, boys. Up on the inside, that's Ballantyne trying to get a way through on the inside of both men. Oh, on the curbs, that's Lewis. He gets slightly sideways, and that's going to cost him momentum down the Wellington Straight. Under the bridge they will go. Tucking in there alongside the 81, I think that is, of Lewis Rose. Into the braking zone for Brooklands. So there is your championship leader and race leader, Lee Deegan. This is going to be a tricky one for everybody to catch up to him. If he gets away in the lead, it's going to be very tough as they come out of Lovefield. Oh, a big slide. That's Lewis trying to tuck back in on the inside line on the exit. Is this going to be a move on Rose? He needs to get up through the gears quickly. Through Woodcut Corner, hanging on to that inside apex, flirt with the curb on the inside line, no problem at all. Lee Deegan opens his account with a 109.392, and they are side by side in the mid-pack down the straight into the first corner, and they are going at it. Buki and Ballantyne slides! Oh, goodness me! He almost hit the door there of the man alongside him. Ballantyne so nearly striking Bruce Winfield, who is third in the championship. That could have been an absolute nightmare for both men, because this one, Buki, who's come off a victory at Brands Hatch, of course, is only 6th in the standings, but it's so tight in that quartet. He has a chance to break not only into the top 5, but if things go his way, he could even be 3rd in the point standings. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification button, and you will have plenty more great racing on the way in the future coming into your inbox. So around the outside, that's a lovely bit of racecraft from Alistair Camp. Not the greatest of starts, but he's trying to make progress. On board with Buki. In there with Reason and Camp as they are all squabbling over this P4. Look at the top 3, they're already starting to stretch a gap. So this could be very easy for Lee Deegan to run away at a canter. 106.6, he's already half a second faster than anybody else out on the circuit. This is an absolute masterclass for the man up front. Here we go though, this is the 77 battling away for 5th position. So that is Reason in there with Ballantyne and Alistair Camp closing up. Not the greatest of starts for all 3 of these guys, and they've got a lot of pressure to keep mounting those points up the order. Bruce Winfield in a solid 3rd up in front. He's the one who really benefited off the start. Reason and Ballantyne door to door. Reason's run out of road, but he manages to get through and back around on the outside apex. But watch for Alistair Camp, he's drafting them both. Deegan your leader, Hobson 2nd, Winfield 3rd. Buki in 4th, and then it's this 3-man scrap for 5th position. Reason, Ballantyne and Camp. Ballantyne round the outside. He might just get enough of a draft on the outside line there. Is there space? Well, there's not a lot left by Reason, but he's going to tuck up the inside anyway. Goodness me, Lewis is having a bit of a scrap of his own there. So Morgan Lewis is trying to make his way past the 195. That's Paul Taylor. Up through the gears again. Just look at this lead that is stretched out now by Lee Deegan. He does a 106.6. And the only man who's really able to compete with that sort of pace at the moment is Winfield. Up the inside comes Ballantyne. And that's a lovely move on Reason, but Reason's keeping it round the outside. And here comes Alistair Camp. So Reason holds it round the outside of Copse. And as they head up towards Maggots, he cuts back across on Ballantyne. So Reason holds the position. Now there's smoke up front. Is that a locked break for Winfield, or has he got a problem? As they come through the right-hander, they're going to continue on the charge up the Wellington Straight. So it's Deegan out front, Hobson in second place. And I think there was some smoke there. I'm not sure whether that was tyre smoke or what. That's Winfield in second place. Winfield's got Hobson. So did Hobson lock up and make a mistake? That must be what caused Winfield to get through in a second position there. So Winfield has gone into P2, and that is very important for the championship fight. He's going to gain some points back there, and that will pull him away from the likes of Hobson and Ballantyne in the standings. Lewis getting squirrely as Taylor is trying to hold him at bay. Somebody's gone wide there on the exit of Luffield as they come through Woodcote, up through the gears, across the start-finish line once again, and Winfield's really settling into that second place spot now. Look at this tussle further back. This is a five-way tussle as they come through to that first corner. Good to see the field all starting to end up in a little bit of a rhythm now. Deegan still running well from Winfield. Oh, he's really struggling to get on the brakes there. And the area motorsport car nearly goes straight on the exit there of Maggots into Beckett's. So that could have been very nasty indeed, but they come up the Wellington Straight once again. Deegan still large and in charge out front, as he has been for most of the 2019 campaign. Oh, that's a close one. Goodness me. 1, 2, 3 jabs nearly there as Lewis holds the inside line, and he's trying to give as little room as possible. Up on the inside comes Taylor again. There's not a lot of road. You can't get much closer than that. That is absolutely brilliant, and he's not the only one who's going to get through this race. Oh, he's knocked his wing mirror. That's Delzell trying to come through around the outside. So Martin Delzell is trying to get through, and he's managed it. Well, unfortunately, Morgan Lewis isn't going to see what's coming on the left side of the car for the rest of the race. The mirror's been knocked in. So there's Morgan Bailey going through the shot. No problem at all for him as he crosses the line. He's running quite well at the moment. Side by side into Copse corner. That is Lewis still trying to... It's nearly 3 wide as Lewis and Rose go door to door. Lewis goes out wide on the exit, and he's going to be able to get away with that one for the moment, but I don't think Rose is going to be too kind towards him for that. So Morgan Lewis, oh, another lock up of the brakes there further up the road. That is the 26, I think that was, locking up. That's Morgan Bailey again. But Lewis and Taylor are now having a bit of a battle again. Rose has dropped back. So along the Wellington Straight, still Ballantyne and Reason are door to door. They are flirting with each other down the Wellington Straight and have been since the start. 8.5 minutes to go here at Silverstone, and they are still giving it the beans into the braking zones. There's Taylor. Front end dipping down quite a lot there on the braking zone into Brooklands and then into Luffield. And the pair of them have squabbled so much that they've actually allowed Martin Delzell to get past them both and scamper away into the distance. And here we go, side by side. Again, these two. Still, they are absolutely door to door. Ballantyne and Reason, they will not leave each other alone. This is absolutely fantastic racing. All the way through, they have been absolutely at each other's throats. Now move up on the inside there from further back. That's Rose under some pressure. But we've got Taylor and Lewis. We're on board with Morgan Lewis. Let's listen. I did say Morgan. I, of course, mean Max. So much going on. It's hard to keep the names apart from each other. But Max Lewis is pushing very hard there in behind Paul Taylor. Here comes Max. Going for another run out of the hairpin. Up towards the Wellington Straight. So Max Lewis is going to push his way down the straight. Here he goes. Let's listen again on board. The 5th gear. Into the braking zone. Will he lunge up the inside? He's going to need to really commit to it. It's too early in the race really to go ugly on the inside line there through Brooklands. So he tucks in behind Paul Taylor. Nice roll off the steering there. Back on the power. Nice run of the curbs. He's just messed us slightly there on the exit. He's not quite able to follow Paul Taylor as closely as he wanted to, heading up to Copse corner and across the line. And he still continued to battle away. Now this is Ballantyne versus Reason again. That's the furthest I've seen them apart for about 5 minutes, and they are still battling. Reason's going to have another crack at him. Down the short stretch into Maggots. And now that's Buki closing up on Winfield. Has Winfield got a problem? Winfield's in trouble. Now that is devastating. Winfield is out of it. from second position. Winfield has got a mechanical problem, and that's devastating for the championship fight. He's only 4 points ahead of Hobson and Ballantyne, and a handful more in front of Buki, but that's going to change dramatically after this one. What a shocker for Winfield. He's devastated, and rightly so. Here comes Max Lewis to the right-hand side of Taylor. Now he can try and hold the outside line here. He's not. He's going to try and get the switch up the inside line. He has to tweak the steering mid-corner though, Max Lewis. Back again he comes to the inside line. Now get this right, Max, and you'll be absolutely charging down the straight to Paul Taylor. Hold it. That's much better. Now I have a feeling he might get right on the back bumper as they come towards Copse. They come out through the turn, and here they are. Look, they are nose to tail as they come through. Ballantyne, though, running a good race now. Like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will get loads more cracking motorsport from the TDi Media channel. Here we go again. Buki locking up in front of Hobson. Ballantyne. He hasn't quite caught Hobson yet, but he's definitely on the march. And Buki versus Ballantyne is an important one because this is for the lower end of the top 6 in the standings. Buki waves. Hello, mate. Let's go and have a play, shall we? Spending more time looking in the rearview mirror than he is going down the straight. That is how determined Buki is to keep it back. Now he's having to look out his window, and that's why Jason Ballantyne swarms around to the right. But there's not a lot Buki can do about that one. I've never seen a racing driver look so animated in the rearview mirror. As he comes through Luffield, he'll want to get back on terms, but he's unfortunately lost out to Ballantyne. Now he's got to deal with Reason behind. Look how far Deegan is ahead as they come through. He's a good 6 seconds, 7 seconds now further away from the rest of the field. That's just crushing dominance as Ballantyne, having dealt with Reason, is now in front of Buki. So that's exactly where he needs to be. And a really solid effort so far as they charge their way now down to Maggots and Beckett's. Into the inside line. Oh, Buki got a little bit squirrely there under braking. The back end started to step out. Meanwhile, the battle between Taylor and Lewis continues. Max Lewis trying to storm around the outside of Paul and then get the switch back up the inside. This is good control from Max. Can he get on the power? Up through the gears again, 4th. And then down the Wellington straight one more time. Reason in there behind Buki. Through Luffield, up towards Woodcote. And Buki is trying to do something about Reason behind him, but Reason is definitely starting to gain more speed than Buki. I think Buki's got a handling issue. Something's not all well with the car. Up through the gears into 4th. Check the rearview mirror. And again over the line, but here comes Reason. He's not going to be shaken. 4 laps to go, and it's going very well indeed for Deegan up front. For Hobson, he's been guaranteed his 2nd place here. Outpaced by Winfield, but the latter's mechanical problem really has caused him some problems. So he's out of the race. Ballantyne looks as though he's going to get a solid 3rd place finish here. And with 4 laps to go, it is a very tight battle up here for 4th position. Reason's scampering all over the back of Buki. Ballantyne's already gone. So Ballantyne there in 3rd. Here comes that battle. They're trying to close up on Hobson. They've got time to grab a 2nd place finish here. And up the inside, Reason's going to muller Buki into the inside. I think there's definitely some kind of handling problem for Buki. He's trying to get back in there. There's not a lot he can do. He has to rumble over the curbs. Buki nowhere near as fast as he was at the start of the race. Maybe the car is slowly starting to wane. As long as he can keep the speed up. He looks behind him, there's nobody there, so you can leave the rearview mirror for a while. Over the line comes Hobson, and here comes Ballantyne. 3 laps to go. And currently, the number 22 of Ballantyne is setting about the same lap times as the race leader Deegan. In fact, he was slightly quicker than Deegan on the last lap. I'm only talking a mere 5 to 6 hundredths of a second. Oh, yellow flags. So what's happened up front? They can't go for an overtake. Now Hobson and Ballantyne both locking up. That must be oil down as a result of somebody going off. Now on the exit, Hobson's got to be careful here. Ballantyne's coming into it. Let's ride on board with Max Lewis. They're all struggling. Now hang on, Max. Was that yellow withdrawn? I don't know whether that's an overtake under yellow flags or not. I think the yellow flag had been withdrawn, so I think he's all right. Hobson through on Ballantyne though to hold on to the place. That mistake under the yellow flags has definitely given Hobson a lot of problems to deal with. Oh, Reason getting a little bit too wide there in Luffield. Buki nearly got a free pass there. He's in 5th position, up to 4th gear. Back on the throttle once again, and with 2 laps to go as they come across the line this time. This is going to be a very exciting run to the flag. They're all in the 1:07s now, so the pace is definitely decreased. They're having to be very careful on the run to Beckett's, clearly, because I wonder if the off that we've seen has seen some oil go down on the circuit. Maybe that's why cars were starting to get a little bit problematic under braking. It does look quite greasy down there, actually. So Hobson, now aware of what the situation is, able to deal with it a little bit better. Ballantyne's still right behind him, though. Buki just having a look around to see what there might be to deal with. That's definitely looking more in the rearview mirror than in front of you, David. And there might be a very good reason for that, because he's got some pressure now. Hobson, Ballantyne, through Luffield. 3 wheels on the deck and 1 in the air as they complete lock through. And then into Luffield hairpin once more. Hobson hanging it out there in 2nd place. Ballantyne 3rd. 4th is Reason. 5th is Buki as they go into the last lap. Deegan out in front. Final tour for him, and it's a masterclass performance. He's just disappeared into the distance. The car running like clockwork, but 2nd place is definitely not safe and sound yet. Ballantyne swarming all over the back of Hobson, and this is important and significant in the title fight. Hobson and Ballantyne are currently tied for points on 152 apiece, so whoever beats the other gains ground in the title fight. But for this man up front, it's been an absolute cruise in the park. A wonderful, wonderful drive from Lee Deegan here in the Silverstone sunshine. Down the Wellington Straight and under the bridge. It's been barely a sweat broken by the man up front, and he's going to take 1 step closer to becoming Disklok Civic Cup champion. If it stays like this, then all he has to do is do the same again in race 2, and he will clinch the Civic Cup title. And it's obviously going to be a tough one with the reverse grid race coming up. Max Lewis still having fun and games towards the end of the race. Here comes Lewis. That's Dalzell. He's caught up. So I think Lewis is going to be in a very sweet position here for race 2. But Lee Deegan dominates out front here at Silverstone. What a cruise control victory that was. 2nd place, it's just Hobson. He hangs on in front of Ballantyne with Reason in 4th, and in 5th position, David Buki. A very exciting run for the leaders there up front. And what a brilliant race. That's definitely going to give us plenty to talk about heading into the 2nd race. And of course, the reverse grid race coming. Lee Deegan in victory position there and in position to win the title if he gets another win in the 2nd. Hobson and Ballantyne on the podium from Reason and Buki. Bailey is 6th in front of Dalzell, and Max Lewis in 8th ahead of Taylor and Mike Ballantyne, who starts the 2nd race from pole position. Not bad for the oldest man in the field. Alistair Capp had mechanical problems. He later dropped out of the running, as of course we saw did Bruce Winfield, and that is significant in the fight for the title race.
Jason, you were fighting all race, so to come away with a podium, you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely happy with the podium. Had to fight for that one. Me and Dan had a few tussles throughout the race, and then had a bit of a battle with Dave, and then I was catching pretty quickly Danny towards the end and got past him, but I had to give him it back because it was just at the end of a yellow flag zone, so I gave him that one back, and then we fought for it all the way to the end, but yeah, ended up 3rd.
Another race this afternoon, there's 3 of you scrapping out for the runners-up spot in the championship. What can you do going into this next race?
I don't know, probably trying to think about it too hard. You just got to go into it with an open mind and see what happens, really. But yeah, we shall see.
Well, Danny, firstly, congratulations on the podium. It wasn't an easy race by any stretch of imagination.
No, we struggled. From the start off, we were all right, and then towards the back of the sort of mid-pack of the race, we suffered massively with understeer, and then just went to defending with Jason over there, and finished up in a good race though. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you're in a scrap with a handful of drivers for the runner-up spot in the championship as well, so that mixes it up quite a lot. Yeah,
especially when the 3 of us are so consistent and we're all 3 of us on a level field for the racing. It's making it tight towards the end.
What can you do to improve in the next race?
Just set up really, just go back to what we did we've gone from the first practice this morning, we were fastest out there, 2nd in qualifying, and then we've dropped off again, so the changes we did make, we're going to have to go back to how we had it in race 1.
Did you drop the tyre pressures?
No, we actually went up with them actually. Went up with their tyre pressures and just changed the tow out a little bit on the front, but yeah, we'll go back to how we had it in the practice.
Lee, your tactic works. You led from the start. Everybody else behind you was scrapping away, which just benefited you. You managed to pull a gap and get a win. And potentially, you could wrap up the championship this afternoon.
I have heard that, but I'm not going to work it out. I'm just going to go out there and do my own race as it would be just a normal race and keep chipping away at the point table. So, yeah, I got a really even start with Danny. We was neck and neck. There was nothing in it going into the first corner, but being on the left, you have a bit of a line to open out the corner on the exit. So I just managed to get that 2-3 mile an hour more on the exit, which gave me the lead. And then I think Danny was being hassled by Bruce and Bally throughout the whole race, which probably held them up and helped me because I could just concentrate on my own race then and just keep being consistent on the lap times.
Yeah, it was consistent as well as dominant. So for now, go and enjoy the win. Well done.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
And he certainly will. If he gets one more, he is the champion of 2019. 50 points clear of Dan Reason. The fight for third is really hotting up though. Hobson, Ballantyne and Buki only covered by 11 points. All these totals not taking drop scores into account though. It's going to be an exciting race too.